How you doing? 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 That's right. It's Main Blast, and it is time for World War Prime. Check it out, man. Section 8. Section 8. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Section 8. Section 8 is black people are raging about Section 8 all over the web. And the funny thing is that white people are not complaining about Section 8 as much as black people are. So can it be possible that there's way more black people on Section 8 than white people? Donald Trump is going to decide to destroy Section 8. And that's going to cause a worldwide chaos in this country. Because a lot of people in the black community is on Section 8. Okay? Now I'm going to read the article, and I'm going to tell you what the hell is going on. Donald Trump believes that Section 8 and other housing assistance programs are necessary and that the free market can and should be used to provide housing. Now, Trump has published several policies positioned on his website and in countless speeches and interviews has expressed dozens of opinions on how the government should function. Some of his policies include agricultural details, like the exact height of his border wall. But his policy points do not include any mention of affordable housing, nor has any of his stunt speech or media interviews. Since Trump has not mentioned affordable housing or Section 8 even once, how do I know this? By reading it in between lines. Let's start with the opinion. Hillary Clinton has an affordable housing policy proposal, which includes investigating further the low-income housing tax credit program, erasing land use laws to make building affordable housing easier, and targeting housing funding to areas that provide the most economic and opportunities to its residents. You would think, since affordable housing is an important issue in the major of voters this election season, even Donald Trump would have addressed their concerns with the published policies, but he didn't. He hasn't. The same goes for his policies for fighting poverty and his plan creating jobs. That's it. His solution to poverty and affordable housing crisis is to create more jobs. Okay, great. If he was able to create many millions of jobs that paid at least the housing wage, the hourly wage needed to afford to decent rental apartments, we would not need any housing assistance programs. The problem solved, right? Well, wait a second. How is Trump going to create several million jobs that pay on average $20 per hour, a national housing wage? It's a secret he's not going to tell you. Much like this plan to defeat ISIS, you just have to trust him. Why shouldn't you trust him? Well, for starters, he has publicly said the minimum wage should be done away with completely. I mean, set to zero. If a fast food restaurant decides they're only willing to pay $2 an hour and there are employees willing to work for that, that's the perfectly acceptable. That's what it means to rely on the free market. And if any rely on the free market is true, his plan, then he plays no priority on housing subsidies like Section 8 that helps renters afford the cost of housing. Another clue that Trump will try to get rid of all housing assistance programs, in his opinion, on citizens who are receiving public assistance like food stamps. In his opinion, if you are receiving food stamps, you aren't working and you are sitting at home because you have insensitive not to work. Insensitive not to work. His solution is to take away the insensitive, to do nothing and create an incentive to work. Sounds to me like taking away the incentive means he wants to take away the subsidy. He wants the low income Americans to go and get a second or third job to replace that subsidy he plans to take away. This speaks to Trump's fundamental misunderstanding of people who receive public assistance. Just because someone receives the food stamps or Section 8 or vouchers does not mean they don't work. With a minimum wage that is about one-third the amount required to afford a safe place to live, even a full-time worker needs some subsidies for food, housing, and child care. In fact, the front desk of Trump Hotel in Chicago can expect to earn $18 an hour, but she would have to earn 22.62 per hour to afford a two-bedroom apartment in Chicago. How does she make the difference, though various government subsidies? So many, if not most of Trump's employees so proudly talk about having created jobs for, quality for, and likely receive some form of government subsidies, whether it be food stamps, housing assistance, or child care assistance. Who is actually receiving those subsidies? Donald Trump is. See, since the free market isn't provided Trump's employees adequate resources to buy all basic goods and services required to live, the government has helped out. U.S. taxes is subsidy Trump business. The bottom line is that Trump loosely thrown together a plan to tackle poverty by creating jobs using free markets if full of holes. He hadn't even been able to create a job in his own business that don't require federal subsidies to make those employees live substantiable. You can be sure that he will try to eliminate as many public assistance programs as possible to pay for tax cuts. He will promise magical jobs growth that won't materialize, and the poverty rate will soar. It is imperative that low-income Americans exercise their right to vote and stop Trump from decimating America's economic safety net that has been in place for nearly 100 years. This is what's going on, man. Section 8. Section 8 is taking a hiatus, and everybody's complaining about it. Mostly black people. Section 8 is hundreds of people, hundreds of thousands, even millions of people who's on Section 8, welfare and so forth and so on, and they're about to abolish the Section 8 program. Alright, and then by then, they will follow that with welfare. This is a freaking problem. This will cause major problem. Now, you got a president who is promising jobs but not producing any jobs. You got a president who decides we're not going to have no minimum wage. We're going to have a zero minimum wage. I mean, if you're willing to work $2 an hour, if that's an affordable rate to live by, which is not. It's almost it is third world. He is not producing no jobs. He been in office about 4 months, 5 months. He's not producing no jobs, and they not too long ago under Obama, they promised to hike the minimum wage all the way to $16 an hour. Now that Obama is out of office, they are going to do the other way. They're going to try to eliminate the minimum wage altogether. So they going to see if you willing to work $2 an hour, you won't be able to afford housing, you won't be able to afford food, you won't be able to afford none of these things. And it's a pitiful sight when I'm seeing America is becoming a third world country. After they get rid of Section 8 and welfare, it's going to be a lot of people looking for jobs. The problem with that is he is not producing no jobs. And the only thing he came close to producing any jobs was the pipeline situation. That's the only time. That's the only time he produced any damn jobs. And now, in his tenure, he's going to get rid of Section 8 and welfare. He only been in office for 5 months, at least 5 months. And now, people like people like people you see every day is going to have to work for their pay. They're going to have to work for the $800 rent. They're going to have to work for their $300 food. They're going to work for any clothing they decide to get on their backs. And he is not producing no jobs. The economy is worse as it's ever been. It's getting worse. The dollar is falling by the dollar value. What I'm hearing is falling by the masses. It's insane. And now he want to get rid of Section 8, and that's going to cause anarchy. Now you have more people in jail. You have more police in the streets. You have more riots. You have more chaos. And that's the only thing that's going to be produced by this move to getting rid of Section 8. And if Section 8 is gone, welfare will follow. They have a law that they're passing through all the states where you can't live. You say you have a project and you live in an apartment. You can't live in that apartment with your family member because your name is not on a damn lease. Okay? They're doing all these things. It's going to flush out. It's going to be more homeless. It's going to be more crimes. It's going to be more anarchy. And it's mostly black people. They say white people is just as much as on welfare as black people. But how is that true when black people are the ones complaining? You don't hear no white people. You don't hear no white people complaining about Section 8's gone, welfare is gone, and stuff like that. It's not happening. So how is our sisters are going to live with all those kids, all the kids they produce? Now, I believe that Section 8 and system has been taken advantage of, but they need to regulate it in certain ways where you can't take advantage of it. Like having 2 kids or 3 kids, and that's the limit. Nowadays, you can have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids and be on Section 8. And the more you have kids, the more they'll help you. Okay? And that must have reached up to the higher-ups, and they're getting sick and tired of Section 8. There's going to be a lot of homeless people out there. There's going to be a lot of starving people out there. Kids as well. So what in the heck is this? Where are we going? Alright? I mean, I believe that Section 8 and welfare was something that's supposed to be time sensitive. Alright? You have a year, 2 years, and so forth and so on. I was on welfare for a little while, got myself a job and stuff like that, and moved out. And my brothers needed Section 8, and I gave it to them. Okay? And as simple as that. They needed not Section 8, the welfare, and I gave it to them, and I got the rent down and so forth and so on. But I wasn't there. Okay, I was in my own place and working. So this is a real freaking problem. This is going to be a real problem. It's going to cipher a lot of people out of the projects from where I come from, which is the Bronx, and there's a lot of people on the Section 8 and on welfare. They all are going to have freaking problems. Either you sell drugs or you do something. So I got to say, it's World War Prime, and it's a lot of things going to hit the fan in this country very soon.